Welcome back to Movie On. Today we're going to do a recap of the fantasy comedy movie called The Mermaid from 2016. The film opens with scenes of pollution, deforestation, and other life-threatening events. Some scientists place a pod inside an ocean as they're trying to do some kind of experiment on fish. Then we see the Museum of World Exotic Animals. There, a curator was explaining how fish came first, and then other life forms evolved. While he was explaining this, everyone was very bored, and they wanted to leave. The curator shows them around when a girl asks the curator if there's anything else they can see. He says that he has a mermaid, and he shows her a doll attached to a fish. The girl tastes it and says that it's just salted fish. Everyone starts commenting that his museum sucks, while he gets very angry and decides to show everyone the real mermaid. He takes everyone inside a bathroom where an ugly fat man comes out of the bathtub dressed as a mermaid. One of them laughs so hard that he gets a heart attack and dies. The rest of them start to beat the poor fat man dressed as a mermaid. Then there's an auction for a piece of land called the Green Gulf. Xuan was sitting there and he buys the land for 300% more than it's worth. Many rich people come to Lu's mansion and all of them sit and talk. He tells everyone that he bought the Green Gulf. Some of them say that he's an idiot for purchasing that land, but some say that he'll make much more money from it. He says that the Green Gulf is a coastal wildlife reserve for a land reclamation project, and he plans on using sonar technology to get rid of the sea life in the area. One of them gets very angry and he leaves while flying with the help of a jetpack. Xuan tells everyone that there's an extravagant party celebrating his business success. Later at the party, Shan, pretending to be a dancer, comes closer to Xuan, but security takes her away and they tackle her down. Xuan wants to see her because she was not on the list of dancers. She tells him that her name is Shan. She says that she came inside because Xuan was so handsome. He orders his guards to take her away, but she gives him her number and tells him to call her. She comes home and goes inside a secret door, which leads to an abandoned ship. There, some of the mer people were still alive, but some of them were very sick. A man asks her about how their plan is going, and she says that she gave him her number. The man says that Lu killed so many of their people, and it's time to take their revenge. It was unknown to Xuan that the Green Gulf is the home of mer people, and the sonar, in addition to heavy pollution, has caused many of them to die or get sick. The few survivors live in an abandoned shipwreck in the Gulf, and want to assassinate Xuan for his deeds. The merfolk send Shan, a beautiful young mermaid who has been trained to walk on her fins and hide among humans, to seduce and kill Xuan. Everyone was waiting while looking at Shan's phone, expecting a call from Xuan so she could go and assassinate him. Xuan, believing that Shan is an escort, calls her number in order to make Roland, his business partner and ex-girlfriend, jealous. Shan immediately picks up the phone. Xuan asks her where she lives, and he says that he'll come and pick her up in 10 minutes. Some of the mer people, through the slingshot, come back to Shan's place to protect Shan if Xuan tries to attack her. They go to her apartment, take a weapon of choice, and they guard the door as Shan walks outside. Xuan was not there, but he sent some of his men to pick her up. They take Shan away while the octopus sees that she left without her bag, running out and hiding in some bushes, and the octopus gives Shan her bag. The octopus tells the guard that he's Shan's uncle. While leaving, one of the guards steps on his tentacles that's coming out of the bush. He says that he caught an octopus and he wants to kill it, while taking out a knife. "I'll help you," says the guard. He didn't want his tentacle cut off, so he says that he wants it in one piece, because he wants it for a barbecue. While taking out a blowtorch, "I'll help you," the guard says again. He tells the guard to not do anything to the poor octopus. It takes Shan to Xuan. Shan was sitting inside the building that Xuan owns. A woman comes and gives her 2 glasses of water. Thinking that one of them is for Xuan, she poisons it. While she's replacing the glasses, security comes and sees her changing the glasses. They check her for weapons, and when the metal detector starts to beep at her feet, Mr. Lau tells her to take her shoes off, and she gets very scared because she thinks that they'll discover her true nature. Right before she takes them off, she sees that there was a metal pin in her shoes. They check her bag and they find a sea urchin. They also find a knife, and she says that it's for cutting the sea urchin, and then she eats them when actually they were poisonous. He asks her if she poisoned the water, pausing and then revealing that he's only joking. He gives her a glass and both of them drink it. Shan drinks it and she starts to feel very sick because she took the poisoned water. Everyone gets worried when she takes the lemon out of her mouth and says it tasted bad. Mr. Lau says he thought she was poisoned when foam starts to come out of his mouth. She puts alcohol on him and says that alcohol cures the poison. He stands up while another security guard gives him a glass of water. He drinks it and drops on the floor again. Shan sees Xuan and she sneaks into his office to assassinate him with the sea urchins. She goes inside the office where Xuan was very mad at some of his employees. Shan hears Xuan yelling, but she thinks that he's talking on the phone. She decides to throw a sea urchin at him, but before she does, Xuan starts to throw anything he could grasp at his employees, and some of them directly hit Shan. She hides before anyone could see her. She tries to throw a sea urchin at him, but there was a crystal clear mirror which she did not see, and the sea urchin reflected, hitting her on the head. She comes and tries to throw another sea urchin when a man opens a door, which hits her in the face, and the sea urchin hits her again. The man was fixing the door, and he goes away. Shan hides under his table, trying to hit his legs with the poisoned knife. He starts to dance, and she could not jab the knife in his legs. Eventually she gives up when he steps on her hand. She tries to hit his foot, but he moves his foot, and she jabs her own hand instead. She was poisoned, and she poured some alcohol on her face. She stands up and jumps towards Xuan when he's playing golf. As he reaches closer, Xuan hits her in the face with a golf club. Xuan decides to escort Shan back home, and along the way, Shan takes him to a fun fair where she works. While there, Shan shows Xuan there are more important things than money, and Xuan is impressed with Shan's simple, amusing antics. They spend the day together and develop feelings for each other. When Shan finally takes Xuan home, Shan quickly sends Xuan away before her people can kill him. She comes inside and tells everyone that she couldn't do it. The octopus screams while saying that they were so close. Shan gets a call from Xuan, and she says that he asked to meet her tomorrow. The octopus says they cannot mess up this time. Shan was sitting with Xuan when a chef walked inside. It was an octopus dressed as a chef. He almost attacked Xuan with all of his tentacles when security comes out. They recognize him and said that the chef is Shan's uncle. Xuan says that he would love to try uncle's cooking. He had no other choice, so he started to cook his own tentacles. 2 other chefs come in, and one of them starts to cut his tentacles, while the other started to grind it in a grinder. The octopus could not bear the pain anymore, and he flies away. Everyone assumes that he's also a magician, and everyone leaves, leaving Xuan and Shan alone. He asks her if she's human, and she starts to get very nervous. She takes out her knife when Xuan asks for her hand. He takes her hand and places a ring on her finger, asking her to marry him. Xuan admits that even though he only met her the day before, he already knows that she's the one for him. A conflict starts between the two. Shan rejects him and admits that she was sent there to kill him. Xuan kisses her, but Rulan interrupts them. Shan runs out, and as Xuan attempts to follow her, Rulan stops him. Infuriated, Xuan demands Rulan to cancel their business deal. That night, Octopus was sitting on a couch while some of his tentacles were covered in bandages. He tells Shan that she's in love with him, which is why she's not killing him. Both of them start to argue, and Shan was not admitting that she's in love with Xuan. Octopus hangs from a fan and tells her to look in his eyes while telling him that she's not in love with Xuan. While the octopus was hanging, someone started the fan and he started spinning. Xuan goes to Shan's house to talk to her, and there he discovers that she and her family are merpeople. He sees that Shan is a mermaid, and he sees Octopus hanging from the fan while spinning. He gets freaked out and tries to leave, but they don't let him, and they capture him against Shan's wishes. The others explain to Xuan that he's killing them with his land development project. Xuan is about to be killed when he says that he didn't know about this, and he doesn't want to harm anyone. He says that the sonar will still be on if they kill him, but if they let him go, he will immediately turn it off. Octopus says that he's bluffing, and he says that they should kill him when they have the chance. Octopus grabs him by his neck with one of his tentacles and chokes him. Xuan was almost killed when Shan helped him escape by cutting off his tentacles. Shan tells Xuan to go, and he jumps off the ship. Octopus gets very mad and realizes that she's fallen in love with him. He picks up the knife and decides to kill Shan, but she starts to cry and he couldn't do it. Xuan immediately goes to the police and tells them exactly what happened. They start to laugh at him, and when he asks one of them why he's laughing, he says that his wife had a baby. The other one was also laughing, and he says that his wife also had a baby. When he tells them about the octopus and they start to laugh even more, Xuan says that they're laughing at him, but he again insists that it's because his wife had a baby. Xuan gets very angry and he leaves because the police were not taking him seriously. When he walks out, he hears the laughter again. He goes inside and they act normal and ask him if he needs anything else. When he walks out again, he hears them laugh at him again. He comes back and decides to investigate the consequences of his project. He turns off the sonar after experiencing what it can do. He makes the mistake of telling Rulan that Shan is a mermaid and there are more like her. He even tells her that they live in an abandoned ship. She starts to laugh and he says that he did not want to tell her because she would not believe him. But she says that she believes him, and she goes inside a lab where she tells everyone that Xuan found a mermaid and the place where they live. There was a marine biologist named George. Rulan tells Xuan that George has been looking for the mermaids for a very long time. She says that she's funding his research. They immediately locate them and they go there to hunt them with lots of weapons because they think that mermaids are an intelligent species and they're capable of making their own weapons. Meanwhile, Xuan was trying to reach Shan, but he was stuck in traffic. All the soldiers go inside the abandoned ship, but they don't see anyone there. They send a person to go inside the water and check if anyone is there. He comes out and says that the mermaids are down in the water. All of them start to shoot in the water. The terrified merpeople flee as bullets rain upon them. Some of them die and some of them survive. They come outside the water, but the soldiers kill the ones that survive and come outside. They put some of them inside bags and take them for experimentation. Shan scurvies the attack and she goes back inside the water. 2 men chase her with guns, but she dodges their attacks. She comes outside and keeps trying to dodge their attacks. Octopus helps her and throws her away through a slingshot. As she's getting away, they put a net in the water, which she gets stuck in. They strike her with blades, and she falls down to the ground in critical condition. More people come towards her with weapons, but water splashes and it knocks them away. The elder mermaid is sitting there, and she starts to move her mighty tail, and she strikes it in the water, and it throws everyone away. One of them shoots the elder with a grenade launcher, and she drops outside the ship. The elder tells everyone that the sonar is off, and it's safe to come outside. Shan realizes that Xuan was not lying. Octopus takes some of the mermaids and goes outside. Shan also goes outside the ship, but one of them spots her and he hits her without mercy. She manages to get away, but she attracts too much attention and everyone starts to follow her. She tries to get away with her full speed, but they keep chasing her, and when she finally loses them, Rulan comes while sitting inside a helicopter, and she starts to chase Shan. She decides to hit her with a bazooka. She starts to aim at her and pulls the trigger. Shan gets hit by the bazooka and she comes out of the sea and falls on the ground. Her skin was burned and she was in critical condition. She sees the fat man who is dressed as a mermaid and she crawls towards him while he's very confused. Xuan was still stuck in traffic and he didn't know how to get out of it. He sees a delivery girl who was on a bike. He figured that he could go through the traffic on the bike, so he offered the girl to forget about her job, take his Lamborghini, and give him her bike. She thinks that he's a crazy man and she leaves, but Xuan sees his friend Chang, who owns a jetpack. Rulan gives her men a direct order to kill her when Xuan, using a jetpack, arrives in time to retrieve Shan, who is very injured. As he's carrying her to the ocean, Rulan angrily shoots him, but George stops her before she could injure him any further. Shan insists that Xuan leave her, but he continues to carry her to safety. The police arrive, and while Rulan and George get arrested, Xuan collapses from his wounds. 3 years later, a student arrives at Xuan's home to thank him for setting up a scholarship for research into environmental protection. The student asks Xuan whether merpeople are real, and if the story that he fell in love with a mermaid is true. But Xuan denies it. Xuan then introduces the student to his wife, Lucy, who is actually Shan in a human disguise. Xuan and Shan encourage the student to travel and explore the world. Xuan and Shan go swimming in an extravagant ocean along with the other merpeople, and they lived happily ever after. To watch more recaps of these kinds of movies, click on the thumbnails on your screen, and don't forget to share your thoughts about today's video in the comments section. Kindly like the video and subscribe to my channel, and press the bell icon so you don't miss any new videos. And at last, I will say, stay safe, stay well, see you next time, and thanks for watching.